Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of The Cider Drinker. And on today's episode we shall be trying Magners. No, I'm not joking, even though I did that a couple of episodes back. We are going to be trying Magners once again. Although there's something a bit special about this one. For you see, it is Magners Special Spiced Apple and Honey. Well, I honestly didn't know this thing existed until I saw it in my local Tesco store. As far as I know, there's been no advert campaigns for this, and seeing as Magners is one of the more popular ciders out there, you would have thought that they would have advertised this one. It's actually a series of 3 special ciders that Magners have brought out, and I've got another one in my fridge as well, which I'll be doing soon. But before I get into that, let me just give you some details on Magners Spiced Apple and Honey. Magners Spiced Apple and Honey comes in 500ml bottles, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it on draft in certain pubs soon as well. The alcohol percentage is 4% in volume, so pretty weak considering. Now, I don't know whether it's sweet or dry, although seeing as it is spiced apple and honey, I'm going to assume it is going to be sweet, but we'll have to find out later. And the price, well, I got this particular one for £1.79, but that had dropped price from £2.15, so just be a little bit wary if you're going to go out and buy this one. There we go. Right, well, as you all know, I did give Magners quite a low rating, saying that it was bland and all you could really taste was, well, sweetness from it. So will Spiced Apple and Honey make the original Magners cider taste any better? Well, we'll have to find out. But before that, let's just read the old back of the bowl. It says Spiced Apple and Honey, smooth with a hint of citrus as well. Magners Original Irish Cider blended with honey, orange peel and cinnamon. A smooth, delicately spiced cider with a refreshing hint of citrus. Well, that actually does sound really nice. It does have ingredients: original Irish cider blended with honey, 2%, orange peel extract and natural cinnamon flavouring, and obviously it contains sulfites to preserve freshness. On the offset, the whole bottle design and the actual sound of it really does sound delicious, I've got to say, but I've got mixed feelings about this one, because obviously the original Magners isn't really all up to scratch. Well, at least in my honest opinion anyway. I mean, I've had so many better tasting ciders out there, but will the inclusion of extra flavours make it taste any better? There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's get this bottle open. There we go. I do like the fact that the old bottle cap has got the old Magners Specials design on it. That's a pretty cool thing. Right, let's just see what it smells like. It smells just like a normal Magners. Now that I got a bigger whiff of that, you can smell the inclusion of honey into it. And you are getting a slight bit of spiciness as well coming off of it, but the initial smell just smelled like normal Magners, so well, you never know, it'll probably smell different in the glass, so let's pour this old thing out. Nice glugging action there from me, always good. Alright, from the offset, it also actually does look a bit different to the original Magners, I've got to say, but I'll show you that in a second once I've finished pouring it all out, which didn't take long. There we go. There we go, that's what it looks like. Now it does have a different colour to the original Magners, because if you remember, the original Magners is a lot darker in colour, much more golden, but this one is quite a light looking cider, I've got to say. In fact, if I had that in front of me just in the pub, some people would probably mistake that for a pear cider, because it is very, very light, I've got to say. But as you can also see, there are a lot of bubbles doing their own little jig in the glass as well, quite big ones too. Anyway, let's see what it smells like. Ooh. Got a bit of fizz in my nose there, hold on. Oh, well, now that it's poured into the glass, you can really smell the cinnamon in that. Hold on. Oh yeah, that has got a definite spiciness to it. You can definitely smell spices and cinnamon that they've included into it. Not so much honey now. You see, this is the thing. The bottle gave off the hints of honey, whereas this, when it's actually poured into the glass, it's given off hints of cinnamon. So it just goes to show you that you can just get different smells from the glass and the bottle. So you've got to try all these things out, haven't you? But one thing left to do, and that's to give old Magners Specials a test. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. Oh wow, that is so much better than original Magners. That is so much better. The initial taste has the cinnamon to it, and then after that you get the honey right like galloping after the cinnamon, and then right at the end the aftertaste leaves that nice hint of citrus that they mentioned as well. Kind of it's almost like a lemony lime kind of aftertaste, I've got to say. Let's just get a second opinion. Now that one, the initial taste, you can taste the cinnamon, but there's also that real subtle hint of spices that they've added to the apples as well. And then, like I said, now the honey is coming through, and the aftertaste just finishes it off nicely with that nice citrus kick to the end of it. Do you know what? I'm really surprised at this one. I thought this was just going to taste like normal Magners, just with a couple of, you know, just a couple of extra bland flavours to it. But no, this is actually very delicious. A very delicious tasting cider. And it is sweet. I did think it would be sweet, but you just don't know, do you? But it's not sickly sweet, because again, that was one of the things I was worried about. It was going to be, you know, just a sickly sweet cider and just basically taste artificial. But this is actually very pleasant. It's obviously it says natural cinnamon flavouring and everything, so you know, as far as I can tell, it says with honey, orange peel and cinnamon, so you never know. It's delicately spiced cider with a refreshing hint of citrus. As far as I'm aware, all the stuff that's put in here is natural. I mean, it doesn't really give any indication that the apples they've used, you know, is 100%, and it's not just like imported apple juice. But for just the overall thing, this is very surprising. I'm just going to go for another taste. And it's very light too. The colour matches the complexity of it. It goes down really well, I've got to say. It doesn't overpower you with all the flavours as well. They're just all nice, subtle, and they just really give your taste buds a bit of a workout. Again, they say they don't overpower it. They're just there, and every now and again you'll just get a little bit of honey here, a little bit of cinnamon there, a bit of the spiced apples that they've put in too. But yeah, a very light, and yeah, it is indeed a very smooth cider. It's just so easy to drink, this thing. So naturally this pint, well, it's not even a pint really, it's 500 mils, but this glass is not going to last long, I can tell you that. One final taste. Oh, you've really got to take your time over this one, because you need to move it around your mouth a bit so that your tongue can just get the full impact of all the different flavours that are coming off of this glass. Because if you just like down it and just like gulp it down, you're really not getting all the flavours. You've really got to take your time with this one. Unlike original Magners, which is just bland and sugary, this one is definitely worth the purchase. I mean, like I said, I got this for £1.79 at Tesco's. It'll probably go up in price, because before I bought it, it did say it was £2.15. So just be a little bit careful if you're going to go out and buy this. But do you know what? For £1.79, I'd highly recommend trying this one. I'm actually going to go I give Magners, excuse me, slight belch there. I'm going to go and give Magners Spiced Apple and Honey a 7 out of 10. Very, very surprising. I'm really surprised at that, but pleasantly, thankfully. Seriously, if you see it in your local Tesco's, give it a go. This one out of the 3 is definitely worth it. Of course, I've got 2 other flavours to try, so I don't know what they're going to be like, but the initial start is very good, I've got to say. Oh, that has been another episode of The Cider Drinker. I hope you've liked it, because I sure have. And I'll be back some other time to bring you another delicious and tasty cider for you. But until then, I'm going to enjoy me a nice bottle of Magners Spiced Apple and Honey. Nice one, Magners. You've outdone yourself. Take care.